I also many of the persons were asking me about the loan and everything, like where we can apply loan or how to get the loan from like banks and everything. So the normal procedure is simple, like you just go to bank, just tell them your admission and everything, and they will just give you the course on your loan, like what kind of a loan you can get and what kind of a interest rate will be there in that particular loan and everything. But today I thought that okay, let's call someone on our channel and they will just introduce something which can help you. So today I have a person from the company called Gyandhan. Now Gyandhan is a personal funding company where if you are a student and if you want money or anything, if you want to get a loan for your education, then you can just contact them and they will like give you a loan, or they will just give you funding for your education. So the first question is like, can you describe your company, how your company is working, and about yourself and like that kind of a thing? Can you make some point on that particular thing?
So Gyandhan is an education financing marketplace. By that, what I mean is we really are not a lender, at least at this point in time. But we work with different lenders to help find the best possible loan for a particular student. Our core focus the last 5 years since we launched operations has been students going abroad, helping them find education loans. And most recently, we have now started looking in the domestic market as well, in the Indian market. As far as the study abroad loans is concerned, as I said, it's a marketplace. So think of it as an Amazon for you'll search for a loan, we'll get you the different options, and then we'll figure out which is the priority order for you and suggest one loan for you. And then the team will work with the relevant lender to bring the loan process to a completion. So if there are any hurdles along the way, our team will be responsible for solving those issues. Right from the loan application to even post disbursal. Once you are studying abroad, if you're facing any troubles in disbursals or even in repayments, our team will be there to kind of help you through the entire process. So that's the customer student facing side of it. The second part of it is really working with the banks or NBFCs. One is on the process side, which is fairly straightforward, or I mean, it's complex. I mean, it takes efforts, but relatively straightforward to understand in the sense that just trying to simplify the process for the student. So trying to figure out where are the idiosyncrasies in the process, or where is some roadblocks in the process, and trying to remove those things. The second thing is really working with banks and NBFCs to kind of come up with new loan products. And that's where I'll mention, that's where we essentially started off from. And that was really my motivation for starting Gyandhan per se. So prior to starting Gyandhan, I was pursuing my MBA at ESA Business School in Barcelona. And prior to that, I was working at Capital One after completing my undergrad from IIT Kanpur. And at Capital One, we were really making models and we were making credit policies to help find the right people to lend to. And when I went to ESA Business School, I suddenly saw students facing troubles paying for their education. This was again back in 2013, and Europe was still reeling under the effects of the Great Recession. So what ended up happening was students from India were not getting loans readily. And for me, the thing was, I mean, there should be a way to assess potential risk of students. So predict who will get what kind of a job after they graduate, and then give loans or make loans on the basis of that. So that is really what we kind of started off with. And that is where the core focus is when we work with banks or NBFCs. So one of the, when we started in 2015, back in 2015, there were no private banks actually doing loans, education loans. And there weren't really many loans without security options. So we worked with one of the private sector lenders, convinced their management team to start an unsecured loan product. And that's something we continue working on, trying to help them expand their credit policies and working with different NBFCs and banks to see, hey, how can we make it easier and make the loan application linked to future employability, if I may say so.
Perfect. Yeah. So now the second question just came is like, what if someone is going on a bank, like in any private or government banks, then they have a trust on that particular thing. Now, how someone can trust on you instead of banks? So just make this particular thing clear. If you can put some point on that particular thing.
Sure. Very great question, actually. And at the end of the day, banking is a business of trust. So the question is, why would someone trust us? Is a very valid question. I think some of it is just why do you trust a bank is because you have had an existing relationship with the bank for some time, or you know a friend who has been banking with them, or your relative has been banking with them. I think so. It's been a journey for us, frankly speaking. At this point in time, I would say the amount of trust placed in Gyandhan is far higher than the amount of trust that was placed back in 2016. So in 2016, I remember we used to make calls and parents used to ask us, I mean, how do I trust you?
Yeah.
How do I trust you anything? And I mean, at least back then we used to say that one of the things I used to tell parents was, hey, I'm not taking your money, I'm helping you get money.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps that we're not really in the assets, the kind of trying to take your assets, but trying to help you with the liability part of it. But broadly speaking, yes, why should someone trust us? Because I mean, even if they are helping us, coming to us with a very key requirement, which is a loan, which will be critical in their dreams of higher education. So I think some of it has been proven by our record thus far, and a lot of it is also a function of we've been working with leading banks and NBFCs. So we've not really been working with mom and pop shops, not been working with smaller players. So there is some kind of implicit understanding, and the student is not really taking a loan from us. Right. So your loan agreement at the end of the day will be with the State Bank of India, will be with an Axis Bank or any other partner. So there is that aspect as well, wherein we are telling you clearly that hey, we'll be facilitating the entire process, but you don't have to be signing an agreement with us, and we are not liable. So if tomorrow, let's say Gyandhan goes down, goes out of business, it's not suddenly a case where you will suddenly try to find how do I get the next disbursal.
Yeah.
Right. So different elements we've worked on, but I think a large part of it is really down to trust, which takes time to build. We've been fortunate thus far that the students we helped in the first few years have been great advocates, and they have at least helped us build some kind of a brand out there.
Perfect. Yeah. So, as you mentioned, there you have a record of the students to whom do you help a lot and everything. So, can you tell me one of the example where you got some out of your business and you help them a lot because of like in the some condition where students need some more help and you are not like you are bounded with your policies, but to help them you just go out of that particular thing and you help them. Can you give me some instance of that particular thing?
So, I mean, I'll give you a couple of examples, but before that, I'll just say that, I mean, for me, it's, I think, very philosophically speaking, it should not really be a case of going outside of your
Yeah.
policies.
But something like you can help them a lot and make them.
So that's what I was saying. Philosophically speaking, the way we work is really we try to understand where is it that we could not help you? Right? Where is it that we actually were limited by our policies or our partnerships? And try to figure out a way how can we change the policies per se? How can we change the processes?
Okay.
So give you a couple of high level examples and then topic case. But high level, like let's say the first year, the challenge was we started working with SBI, but there were cases wherein customers could not go to you had to go to an SBI branch to submit the documents.
Mm.
And there were people who were working through the weekdays, and on Sundays, SBI is off.
Yeah.
Now that's a big challenge. And I remember there is this case in Bangalore that we faced this issue with. So what we did in that particular year was we actually talked to the relevant branch in Bangalore. We talked to the customer and said, hey, what is a specific time when you can actually take a leave from office for 3 hours? We kind of ensured that the manager was there at that point in time and then did the entire liaisoning so that the person could go submit the documents, get the KYC done, and then kind of get along with the loan process. But the key for me was, for us as a team, was not really figuring out this on a one-on-one basis, but really how can we make it such that it becomes part of the process. And so a couple of years back, we launched another process with SBI wherein we now actually collect documents from your house.
Oh,
right. So it's not really a exception now anymore in Bangalore. It's almost a process wherein an executive from Gyandhan can come and collect your documents and submit it to the regional processing centers. It helps us kind of fast track the loan application process as well. And also it just kind of reduces the friction in the entire process. Another example I can give is, which again would be a more specific case. and that's not really a policies level thing, but it's more of a nuance wherein this particular year we had, I'll just have to check the name of the customer. Yeah, so we had a customer who was going for Dublin Business School.
Okay.
Now she was looking for a loan of close to 20 lakhs. A property and she was looking for a loan against collateral in this case. A property was worth 18 lakhs. And the challenge here was, one is if your property is worth 18 lakh, you will get only a percentage of that as the loan amount. And the second bigger challenge was there were 5 owners of that property. So she tried going to a couple of banks. She even went to the couple of leading NBFCs, but none of them could get the loan done. And that's where the team really did a great job here. We kind of figured out that given the fact that it was only an 18 lakh property, we figured out that, hey, the best option is really trying to go with Bank of Baroda because they offer the maximum percentage to the loan amount in this particular case, actually. And we said, okay, let's go ahead with Bank of Baroda. We kind of worked with the branch managers and the regional processing centers upfront to understand, hey, this is the scenario, these are the conditions. If we start the process, will it be completed or not? Because we don't want to kind of aggravate the customer or make it difficult for the customer at the very end stage because timelines are fairly stringent. And so we figured out the entire process even before taking the application. And then our team, the Bangalore representative, actually worked with a local lawyer to figure out how to get the evaluation of the property done in conjunction with the BOB team. And then we submitted the application directly at the processing center rather than going to a branch. So again, here we kind of reduce the timeline. So I think this was one particular case which was, I wouldn't say it can be generic. I mean, well, the answer there is we'll try to make it more logically oriented to kind of get as much things as possible. But at least at this point in time, it's not really a process part of things. But one of those cases wherein we had to do some things or our team had to do something which was not as easy as would be a general case.
Okay, so now the next question is like, if someone is calling you and someone is taking counseling or anything from you, so is there any condition or is there any fees or anything that you are charging or like that kind of a thing you are doing? So can you explain that particular thing?
Sure. So as far as our loans service is concerned, it's completely free.
Okay.
We don't charge anything. So when we get in an application, as I said, we just kind of evaluate that application against our partners and we'll kind of recommend you the best possible option. And even the doc pickup service that I said that we do for SBI and other banks as well now. The idea is we get paid by the banks. So we help banks, as I said, we help banks improve their processes and stuff. So we get paid by the banks. So at this point in time, we have we don't charge the student anything. There are no plans in the immediate future as well to charge students any fees. So that's really all there is to it. In the last few years, we've been getting kind of inputs from students around expanding the scope of our services, kind of trying to offer admission counseling, trying to offer visa counseling, forex, and so on and so forth. So the approach there we've taken is we've continued to approach it from a marketplace standpoint. But the difference is we've said that, hey, we will focus on the financial aspect of it, which is specifically loans. That's our expertise. So everything else, we will try to figure out the key partners, the premium partners, and partner with them on the basis of their execution abilities. So let's say today, if you come for admission counseling, we might be able to put you in touch with 1 or 2 players based on your requirements. And then we will be clear, our team will be clear in terms of what is the fees required by the partners. So even there, we don't get charge anything to you. There you might be paying us a fees that will be then transferred to the partner. But even there, you're not paying us anything. Our payouts are paid by our relevant partners.
So now the last question that I want to ask you that my channel is working in like Ireland. Then most of the viewers are looking for Ireland study and everything. So like, is there any specific counseling or is there any specific like university shortlisting or anything going on your Gyandhan or anything like that? So can you explain that particular thing? like loan system for Ireland or anything? Because see, when I took a loan, when I came here Ireland, I took a loan, so I need to like get into the bank and I need to ask them whether you are doing for Ireland or not. So like, can you explain that particular thing, how you are working for Ireland?
So it'll be interesting to know in terms of how easy or tough it was the process for you, and where did you end up getting a loan from?
So I took a loan from HDFC, and like when I first I went to SBI, and they told that we are not doing, but other branches doing. So you can just go over there, you can ask them, and then you can get a loan. But then I went to Bank of Baroda, and the loan procedure was like really like time consuming, because they told that it will take around 1 month or so, and I was like my timeline was very short because I got the visa, and like I got admission, and then I need to apply for a visa as soon as possible, so I need to get a loan before that. So I don't have that much time, and then I went to HDFC, and HDFC told me that you will get a loan in 7 days, but the interest rate was high, but I paid that particular thing. So that is my like case. And can you explain like how you will do better for the students, particularly for Ireland, so that people can trust on you and they can get a loan easily compared to my case?
Sure. Sure. So let's take your example. Like hypothetically, if you were to come today, how would that work? Yeah. So hypothetically, the way it will work right now is if you come to us, we will figure out, okay, you need a loan for X amount. Are you able? So the one is you will fill an online eligibility form first. You have a loan eligibility form, a short form. You can either go through that, or you can have a direct call with one of our counselors through a callback button. But basically, what we're trying to assess through that form or through the initial call is basic stuff around your profile. So, which college are you going for? What's been your background? What's been your academic background? And then what's the status of your co-applicant? Because co-applicants are required if you're taking a loan from an Indian player, at least at this point in time. And really, whether you have a collateral or not. And then the key thing is the one point that you mentioned: how much time do you have? Right, because, and then once we take this, we kind of rank order you on the basis of how many banks would you be eligible for, and then which bank would be the best suited for you. So by that I mean, let's say you had a collateral, right? Let's take the example that I was talking about, Dublin Business School. Let's say you have the collateral of 20 lakhs. You want a loan for 20 lakhs. Then the first option for us would be, hey, are you comfortable giving up collateral? If you're comfortable giving a collateral, then the loan against collateral will have the lowest interest rate. And you will have a moratorium period as well, when you don't have to make any interest or principal fee payment. It's a great product from that standpoint. As a matter of fact, your co-applicant will also get a Section 80 benefit. So all those things work in your favor. But then suddenly, if you tell us, hey, I have to fly out in 2 weeks. Then what we'll try to assess is, which city are you from? So even then, it's not a completely shut case, because there are places wherein we know that the service levels are good enough that we can get the loan done even faster. But what we're trying to assess in that first call and in the first day is, hey, how much time will it take for us to get this loan done? Once that is done, so coming back to your example, if we had this call with you, we will see, hey, are you eligible for an SBI loan? Are you eligible for a Bank of Baroda loan? Are you eligible for an HDFC Credila loan? And then 5 other exam options. And then we'll filter out, okay, you are possibly eligible for 3, but given your conditions around kind of urgency, you should only look at 2 options, let's say. And then within the 2 options, we'll say, hey, which is the best possible interest rate for you? And we will tell you about that product. In the subsequent call, we might even tell you about the other option, but we'll pretty much prefer that the lowest interest rate is this is the option. So we'll kind of really tell you, hey, these are the terms. This is the indicative interest rate that you might end up getting. These are the fees involved, any hidden fees or not. And then once we get the go ahead from you, we will either enter that application in the partner's loan systems, or we will send that information to the relevant regional relationship manager at that particular partner. And then we have another CRM or another kind of follow-up mechanism with all the partners, figure out, hey, this is the expected timeline. This loan has to be done in 7 days. So where are we at different stages? So let's say if you've started with HDFC Credit, then you will essentially have, what you will have is, you will have an online form. After the initial eligibility form, you will have another form when we'll ask you to upload all the documents.
Yeah.
So based on your questionnaire, we'll tell you, hey, these are the 7 documents we need from you. So once you upload those documents, the team at our end checks all the documents, and once all the documents have been approved, then those documents are shared with the relevant partner, let's say HDFC Credit Lab, and their relationship officer has access to the same documents from our portal. So the good thing is, let's say you've uploaded a PAN statement which is not PAN card, which is not clear, right? Our official will tell you there itself that, hey, will notify you that, hey, re-upload this statement document.
Okay. Yeah.
So you don't have to come in back and forth, and no executive has to come 10 times to your house, or you don't have to go to a branch 20 times.
Good.
So that's done. And once that is taken care of, the branch, the bank or the NBFC partner also has looked through the documents. Then we can get to the last stage, which is the loan approval process.
So yeah, that's it for this particular conversation. If you have anything that you want to tell, you my viewers are for Ireland studies, so if you want to tell anything to them, you can just tell them.
Sure. So as far as Ireland is concerned, as well, as I said at the starting, initially, there are 2 aspects to it. One is the process part of it, and another is really the product part of it. Right. So we've been actually working with couple of our partners to have unsecured loan options, or let me put it this way, loan without collateral options,
Okay.
even in Ireland. And separately, we've been in discussions even with the universities, in a couple of universities in Ireland, to figure out how can we make the loan application process even easier. How can we make it a school-specific loan product? Right. So I think right now I can say for sure there is no partnership at a school level, but we are actively working on it, and the hope is that in the future, at least with a few colleges, we will have a specific loan offering. So let me give you an example. IESC Business School, where I did my MBA. Right. So you have, if you know, you would know obviously about Prodigy.
Yeah.
Right. But similar to Prodigy, there are other local banks as well.
Yeah.
Right. Partnership with IESC Business School. So if you get an admission to IESC Business School, you could get a loan from Banco Sabadell, which is a bank in Spain.
Yeah.
Similarly, what we're trying to do is work with Irish universities to figure out, hey, can we have I would say University of Dublin loan product, or similar to that.
So if a student is there in University of Dublin, then they will directly get the loan from your.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. So that's something that will probably happen more in the next year. It's definitely not there right now.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, at least where we have graduated from is, I would again say 4 years back, it was practically impossible to get a loan types.
Yeah.
Now this is a place wherein it's not viewed as unfavorably, viewed reasonably favorably, and we even have places, we even have done loans wherein you get loans without collateral.
Okay.
If you don't have a collateral, you are applicant and you're going to good school, you can even get a loan without collateral.
Good. Yeah, so that's it for this particular conversation. Thank you very much for your time. I will just put down your email, contact number, and website down in the description, and people will call you if they have any problem or if they want any assistance or anything. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for your time.